This video is made possible by Francisco Herrera Jr. at the Honda Superstore of Joliet. Francisco is a longtime car enthusiast who is dedicated to finding the perfect vehicle for you. Email him at the address on the screen or contact him with his information found in the description below. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 2021 Honda CRV Hybrid. Up front is a 2.0 liter inline 4, as well as a hybrid drive system. Down below is a CVT. And so I am super excited to be driving the CRV Hybrid for a couple of different reasons. First of all, pretty much everyone I know and love has either owned a CRV or currently owns a CRV. And so these things are great, and let's figure out why. The second reason I'm excited is because I actually haven't driven a CRV Hybrid. I've driven CRVs in the past. I did a 2019. And I've driven a bunch of other generations off camera. Like I said, I know a lot of people that have owned previous generation ones. And so I'm excited to finally get my beak wet with the hybrid system in the CRV. Now, before we get on to the rest of the video, if you guys are interested in selling your car, please click the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com will buy your car with a salvage title, good title, running, non-running, whatever it is. Please go support the channel by clicking the link in the description below. You can get a fast and easy quote for free, and they will pick up your vehicle in less than 24 hours. So let's get back to that 2.0 liter inline 4 as well as hybrid system. I will put the horsepower up on the screen, not that you really care about that, but I will put up the miles per gallon. 40 miles to the gallon in the city, 35 on the highway, which is great. Now, the reason the city number is higher is because this vehicle does have EV mode. So when you're driving slowly, under 20 miles an hour, the vehicle is in all electric mode and doesn't use any gas at all, which is very, very nice. But 40 miles to the gallon in the city, that is huge for an SUV like this. And that is a huge perk of the hybrid. I'll put the regular Honda CRV gas mileage up on the screen so you can compare. That vehicle has a 1.5 liter turbo, as where this has the 2 liter with the hybrid. So far, driving it has been pretty run-of-the-mill CRV. It handles fine, has good driving response. I don't feel super numb against the road, but then again, I'm not getting beat up by potholes. Honestly, you won't really notice the fact that this is different. And so if you're looking for a hybrid, you're looking to save gas, be better on the environment, but you don't like how hybrids feel, this is a good vehicle for you because it doesn't really feel any different. Like I said, Paradude is a CVT. A lot of Hondas are CVTs. That means continuously variable transmission. And like I always say, those always feel right at home when it comes to a hybrid. Since hybrids are switching in and out of EV mode, you don't really notice the fact that it actually doesn't really shift gears. Put into sport mode, the top of the gauges turns red. That's what I don't like about CVTs. It makes a really weird noise, and it made a lot of noise for not a lot of movement. I got up to the speed limit doing that. The CRVs aren't meant to be speed demons. This is true, so that's fair, but also at the same time, I wish it had a little bit more oomph. Last but not least, this CRV is all-wheel drive. However, you can still find base model CRVs or lower trim CRVs with front-wheel drive. So if you prefer front-wheel drive, or if you're looking at getting a base model, it will be front-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. This is the touring model, so we have quite a bit to go through. Well, in front of me, I actually have digital gauges. On the left is my battery charge, and on the right is my fuel, and then in the center, I get a very nice center screen. You can change through a couple of options in that center screen. I am showing that now on video, and I like that customization. I think the screens look good. I think they have a decent frame rate. They look fresh, they look new. And like I was saying in the Honda Ridgeline, I thought the Honda Ridgeline really needed a refresh for the gauge cluster. It could use an update. This looks fresh, this looks new, this is the update. So I hope that these gauges sort of trickle down to the Ridgeline and the Civic and things like that. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my controls for that center screen, skip track, phone options, and volume. And on the right, I have my adaptive cruise control options and my heated steering wheel, as well as lane keep assist. I like the steering wheel overall. I do have paddle shifters on the back. That's something I would want to do. However, this is a CVT, and so it doesn't really shift gears. But what I do like about it is that if you do decide to paddle shift, it doesn't fake it and say, oh, gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, like a lot of other CVTs do. They're like, oh, this is gear 1, this is gear 2. It just goes up arrows or down arrows. So if I click the minus twice, it just shows me 2 down arrows. So like you've clicked it down twice, but it's not fooling you or trying to trick you into thinking that there's gears, because there isn't. And I like that. To the left of me, I have my lane keep assist on and off, parking sensor on and off, trunk release, pre-collision warning, and traction control, as well as I do have a dead switch. Now, I'm not a big fan of this because this is the touring model. This should have all of the bells and whistles. I shouldn't have some blank, unusable switch. What should have happened is they should have just made the trunk release button too large, like a lot of other cars do, to figure out that symmetry issue. On the door, I have 2 memory seat options, power windows, power locks, and power mirrors. Moving into the center, I do have a very nice touchscreen display. Of course, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard in here. However, this is more of the Honda Civic infotainment system as opposed to the Odyssey, Ridgeline, and Insight. And I prefer the Honda Odyssey, Ridgeline, and Insight infotainment system a lot better. It's a lot more colorful, but this is okay. Unfortunately, I don't really have any fun apps from the get-go. I don't have, obviously, bed speakers or cabin talk or cabin watch like other Honda vehicles. However, I do have a calculator built in, but I do have an app installer, so I can actually install apps through USB if that's something you want to do. Other than that, I think the screen looks fine, it works well, and it is what it is. And then I have a couple different views that I can choose. So this is more of a fisheye, and you could see over here and over here, I see the edges of the parking lot. Zoom in here, and I don't see them quite as much. And then I have a top down as well. This camera is not very good. This camera is not very good quality, and that's a little bit sad to see. However, I can turn this on and off, bring this over if I'd like, things like that. Again, I wish this camera had better quality, but it's nice that you at least get those options and have that sort of changing trajectory sort of look to it. Down below that, I do have my climate controls, which I can also use on the screen as well. Looks decent, works well, and I do have heated seats, as well as heated mirrors, which is a very nice feature, and I'm pleasantly enjoying the heated seats currently. Then I have sort of the center stack. On the left, I have my power parking brake, as well as my brake hold. Very nice, one of my favorite features in new cars. In the center, I have my shifter. This is the same shifter you'll find in pretty much all other Hondas. And then on the right, I have my Sport, Econ, and EV mode. So, I have Econ mode, which is just efficiency, and then I actually have EV mode. Down below the shifter, I do have 2 USB ports. One of them is for the phone, which is signified by the little phone icon, and then the other is just for charging. But that's pretty unnecessary because right below that, I have a wireless charger. I absolutely love this. I think it looks clean. I think it looks sleek. And it has that wood trim around it. There's wood trim throughout the interior of the CRV Touring, and I absolutely love it. I think it's such a premium feel having wood trim in a car. I think it's really something special. Then I have 2 cup holders and the center console. Inside the center console, I do get a 12-volt outlet as well, so plenty of charging options here in the CRV. Now, the seats are nice and comfortable. Like I said, they are heated, they are power, they are memory, and they have pretty good support. They're not too aggressive, they're easy to get into, and overall, they're everything you could ask for from a seat. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's do a backseat review. All right, so I'm in the back of the 2021 Honda CRV Hybrid Touring, or Touring Hybrid, and the space back here is great. Really good headroom. I am 5'11". I have plenty of headroom, can almost fit my full fist above my head. Knee room is great. This is my driving position. My knees are not hitting the front seat at all. Very, very good space back here. I really, really like that. Now, this is not a 3-row SUV. This is only a 2-row, which I think personally is the way to go when you go with an SUV. I think you should only go up to a 3-row if you really need to. But if you really need that 3rd row, I would highly suggest an Odyssey. Just because I love Odysseys so much and they have really cool tech. And the back seats of Odysseys, the 3rd row at least, are way better than any SUV 3rd row ever, at least getting into them. I digress. Wood trim on the doors, very nice. I have a little light, nice. And a center console here, 2 cup holders. That's really it. Nothing too crazy back here. but the size is very, very good. A lot better than the HRV. A lot better than the HRV. And I really, really like the back seat. Oh, I do have two USB 2.5 amp chargers down below. So people in the back seat can actually charge their phones and they don't have to ask you to pass up, you know, this 8-foot cord you got at Payless or whatever. So that's really nice that I can charge my stuff back here. Now we'll take a look at the trunk. So around the back of the CRV, I have this nice privacy cover that I can pull out. Looks great. Those seats do go down so I can lay everything flat. However, I'm not seeing it, guys. You guys know the one thing I look for back here is a 12-volt outlet, and I'm not seeing that. I have a nice little funnel, tire repair kit, things like that. I don't get a 12-volt outlet back here, and that is something that I would really look for in vehicles like this. And unfortunately, I don't have it in the CRV. One button here, it says also hold to set the height. So if you have a low-hanging garage, you can set it at a specific height, and you won't ding your tailgate on the garage. Now we gotta talk about the looks. I like the look of the CRV. I don't think it's going to win any design contests. I don't think it's this stone cold killer that's going to be on the cover of a magazine. However, it looks nice, it looks new, it looks presentable. That's all you really look for in a vehicle like this. You're not looking for a drop-dead, gorgeous, red carpet approaching vehicle when you're buying a CRV. You're looking for something that's going to work all the time, and that's definitely this. And so my final thoughts on the CRV. I don't want to call myself a CRV fanboy, but I've spent a lot of time with a lot of the generations. My friends Nick, Glenn, and Adam all have first-gen CRVs. Adam actually recently sold his, Glenn sold his, but Nick still has his. Oh, and Andy has one too. So that's 4 people I know with a first gen. I can think of 3 people off the top of my head that have a second gen, 2 people I know that have a third gen, and one of my close friends has this generation. So I've spent a lot of time with CRVs. And actually, if you go to change the oil of a 2016 Honda CRV, don't rush into it because the oil filter is right by the header. And I was all gung-ho trying to change my friend's oil. Got under there and just burned the crap out of my hand. So, fair warning. Also, get one of those, like, top-down clamps for the oil filter so you don't burn your hand. Something you should know about 2016 CRVs. My point being is the fact that I've spent a lot of time with these, and I really, really like them. This is all you need from an SUV, from a daily driver. This is a great commuting car. It'll take you up to the trail on the weekends. Put a bike rack on the back, put a rooftop carrier on the top. Whatever you need to do, this is going to do it. It's a very thorough, very worked through car. And now, the hybrid version, I love equally because like I said, driving this, I don't feel like I'm in a hybrid. I don't feel like this thing is weird or different than any other CRV I've driven. And that's a big buying point for me because I like hybrids. I really, really do. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. I think they're great, but I don't like driving a car that feels just so dramatically different and drives differently. Speaking of hybrids, well, that's actually all electric. Bucket list review right there. Sir, can I bother you for a second? My only issue with the hybrid CRV is the fact that not all CRVs are hybrid. The reason I say that is because I recently filmed a Toyota Venza as well as the Toyota Sienna. Toyota is going all in when it comes to hybrids. You cannot get a Sienna in 2021 that is not a hybrid, and you cannot get a Venza in 2021 that isn't a hybrid. And I think that's an important change that has to happen. I think auto manufacturers have to start forcing people to buy hybrids because they're good now. Hybrids are very, very good, and I think it's just smarter for the environment to just have hybrids on cars that aren't supposed to be super fun. I think Honda should drop the regular gasoline CRV from its lineup. I think to get with the times, they need to just push the hybrid because I really truly think that this is just as good as the gasoline car and it gets better fuel economy and it's better for the environment. It's a no-lose situation just going to the hybrid. And hybrid technology keeps getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So yes, you might think, oh, well, a hybrid is a little bit more expensive. It is. And that's a downside of hybrids at the moment. But hopefully as life goes on and as technology progresses, hybrids are going to be cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to the point where it won't be a price difference between a gasoline engine and a hybrid. I think they've really gotten down the driving feel of the hybrid. Now we just need that price. Driving feel and price, once those two come together, this thing should only be a hybrid, and the CRV should fly off shelves in its hybrid form. Thank you guys so much for watching. Huge thank you to Francisco over at the Honda Superstore of Joliet. His information is up on the screen as well as linked in the description below. And Francisco is a fellow car enthusiast, so he's not going to just shove you into whatever car is the highest sticker price. He's going to find the right one that's going to fit your lifestyle, fit your budget, and something that you're really going to be happy with, whether that's a CRV or a Civic or HRV or Insight or anything of the sort. Francisco's your guy. He's a dear friend of mine, and I'm very thankful that he's helping me out with these reviews, so please give him your business. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.